Welcome to Cody in the Cinema. Today I'm discussing Eastern Condors, the 1987 action-adventure fighting film, directed by Sammo Hung, who also stars as a lead role in the picture in an ensemble cast. And if you like 80s action, you like the music, the synthwave, the vibe, you're probably going to like this, especially toward the end. And the poster, love the poster. I'm just going to kind of fold it out for you if you haven't gotten to see this yet. I was a little hesitant, I'm not going to lie, to buy this one, but I love the poster. Love the poster. And I just wanted to read you a little excerpt because there's an essay on the back. I'm going to read you from that. So it says, this is from Collective Action by Sean Gilman. In the 80s, Sammo Hung became one of the unlikeliest heroes in global action cinema. The genre was at its height of its beefcake era, with muscular hunks like Arnold, Stallone, Carl Weathers, Dolph Lundgren. And down here it says, referring to Sammo Hung, with his pudding-like physique. Pudding-like physique. He used his uncanny athletic abilities to become an era-defining director. And this is a really neat little essay there, but I remember the first time, originally, one of the reasons I ended up buying this film, I was watching through the Ip Man series a few years back, and my favorite character from that whole series, besides Donnie Yen, was Sammo Hung's Grandmaster in Ip Man 2, if you've ever seen this. And they have that excellent fight on the table, and then several other good fights in that. And I kind of thought the same thing. Like, this Sammo Hung guy, I was like, he's one of my favorite martial arts characters I've ever seen. And it turns out he's a pretty darn good director, too, in this movie. This is a Dirty Dozen kind of movie. Like, some prisoners have to go and sort of repent for their sins through action. They might get some breaks with the government or their prison sentence if they can, like, do this thing with these weapons that need disarmed, and they have to get through the obstacles. It's a video game plot, really, but it's a pretty fun movie to watch because of that in some ways. They also meet a group of women who are like guerrillas on the ground, and they all sort of work together often, although there are conflicts, as they go through Vietnam and they work through this situation. And there's a lot of stealth, and the stealth in the movie is really good. You're going to see the full scope of the environment used, including like pieces of plants. There's some really good use there. I mean, the athleticism is great in this movie when it is used. I did want to say to people, if you think this is going to be a start to finish hand-to-hand combat movie, that's not really the case. There's a lot more gunfighting than I would have thought in this, than I thought there would be. But I actually like that. The gunfights are good and they do pay off. Direction-wise, like I said, I really enjoyed the placement of the camera. I mean, there's a great series of shots in the beginning where these dudes are just like jumping out of the airplane and they have to like count to 20 so that they don't end up on the wrong, part of the map. They have to count to 20, then they pull their parachute cord, and the whole time that 80s soundtrack, it just hits. It's perfect. When I put this on, I wanted that 80s feeling, and I got it through the visuals, the beautiful green of the jungle. It honestly, like the first third I really liked. The middle drug a little bit for me because there's a little bit more like kind of aged 80s comedy that works its way in there, and I didn't find that quite as compelling, although I still liked it. Even though there are some good stealth segments where they like sneak up on people and different things. There's like there are battles by the water, there's good scenes in the rain, there's all that stuff. There is a segment in the middle where there's a Russian roulette played, and I just watched The Deer Hunter like a few weeks ago, so it wasn't maybe as effective as that, but it was still a good scene with Russian roulette. And the essay here does comment on how there are some bleak moments in the film. Surprisingly so, they can catch you off guard. Awkward tonal shifts, but in the end, so I sounded like the first part quite a bit. The second part I was a little weak on, or a little mid on. The third part, lights out, awesome action movie there. There's a bridge sequence where there's lots of like invade this place and gunfire and grenades and sneak up on this vehicle and like there's 2 towers over here and bang bang, like that stuff is what I wanted out of my 80s action movie. But also Sammo Hung, I don't think, wanted a picture that was just gunfire, and so there is that good hand-to-hand combat. There is a scene in the end of this where they get to an armory, and there is a really interesting, really unique fight that Sammo Hung, obviously, you know he's going to fight a final boss, right? Like, I'm not spoiling, you understand that's going to happen. And the final boss fight, like, kind of took me by surprise. The character was a little creepy and odd, and like, it was a fun fight to watch. And because I really enjoyed the last like third of the movie so much, this is a rewatchable action film that's pretty good in that way. And like I said, it's kind of pretty to look at. Especially there's like a really gorgeous waterfall scene that I thought there was an interesting choice when he was directing. There are some characters coming out like of a waterfall, and I think weaker directors would not have given us that like picture of the water and just allow us to sort of sit with the beauty of the water and see like how big it is. But he does that, and then some characters come out of the water. I think, personally, if you like Sammo Hung, this is a must-see. So if you were a big fan like I was of the Ip Man series, see this. I think you're going to like that. If you like cheesy 80s, you're going to like this to a point, although it's not as cheesy as I would have thought. There are some things, like there's some really adorable slow motion shots. And I actually liked it. I thought it was mostly kind of cool and neat, but it might distract some viewers. But you do need to be aware this does have some of that cheese factor to it. But I'm not knocking that. I like that about the picture. If you're in for all that, like if that's what you signed up for, you're going to like it. However, if you're a little bit more like I watch Criterion pretty much for the art films, don't watch this, right? Like that's not going to be for you. But now this is someone who tends to watch like the really artsy stuff out of the collection, and I still really enjoyed this. This is a genre that I like to watch sometimes. So as a heads up, like I'm not someone that just watches, martial arts film after martial arts film. This is something that I enjoy here and there, okay, if not even sparingly, and I still had a really good time with this. So I also, by the way, like I'm a huge Arnold fan, loved all that stuff. You probably will like this too. If you liked Predator, if you loved Predator, you'll probably like this, okay? Because there were parts of this that felt like Predator vibes a little bit, the Arnold movie. But yeah, I think this is one you should have in the collection if those criteria are what you're looking for, if. So that's my honest review. I'm really glad I bought this, and I'm just glad something like this is in the collection. I love how Criterion has sort of not allowed itself to be narrowly defined by any one genre too much of the time. Sure, it does have those like, La Dolce Vitas and what are some other things I'm looking over there, Double Indemnity, and it's got like The Leopard. Yeah, it's got that stuff, but a movie like Eastern Condors I think is so important to have in the collection. So if you did enjoy the movie, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear it. Or if you have any good recommendations for me from this actor. I've only seen this and Ip Man 2 with Sammo Hung in it. So let me know if you have some good recommendations there. If you did like the content today, if you would do me a favor and click the like button. Like buttons do grow YouTube channels. And subscribe if you haven't. I cover all kinds of Criterion stuff, different movie topics here. There should be something for you. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Cody in the Cinema.